All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Spruce, not Sprouts. Stupid ass. Spruce. No, we just reacting to everything that we find interesting just to build a wild variety of a portfolio. We got animal videos, we got Marvel nerd stuff, we got fight videos, we got weird sports. But today, conspiracy theories, specifically that on Joe Rogan, but we're reacting to Joe Bartolozzi. I watched some of his videos. He hilarious. Um, we're gonna react to his videos, reacting to the conspiracy theories. Comment down below what's your favorite conspiracy theory that you believe in, or what's a conspiracy theory that you believed in that was confirmed true. Because people be thinking they just conspiracy theories, but a lot of them are truth, like the Illuminati and how they be killing uh, how they be killing babies to make themselves younger for longer. Celebrities, that's true, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It sound crazy, but it is what it is. It's a lot of biblical conspiracy theories that people don't look into, like the dinosaurs and the ice age and the Big Bang theory, and how the government or scientists says that it was asteroids that came and killed the dinosaurs, but really it was the fall of the fallen angels and Lucifer out of heaven. Don't argue with me, argue with your bitch. That's the truth. So, anyways, we're gonna get into these conspiracy theories. Comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, engage, and let's get to it.
15 of the crate. Do y'all want to watch this video? I think we should. It's a long video, but if we want to stop at any time, we can, or we could skip through the different conspiracy theories. But it's 15 of Joe Rogan's craziest conspiracy theories. Well, it's not his conspiracy theories, it's on his podcast.
These are 15 of the craziest conspiracy theories ever shared on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, beginning with episode 1954.
Hey, don't forget about all the Jeffrey Epstein files that suddenly are no longer at the topic of the world because Trump is starting this war. Trump, we know you on those files. We know you was touching and raping them kids on that island, along with a bunch of other celebrities. Don't think we forgot. We still need them files to drop. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or where Joe Rogan shares his theory on the afterlife.
Well, maybe some of them are his theories.
Theory that many people have is that death opens up a chemical gateway in the mind, and that chemical gateway takes whatever the soul is, whatever consciousness is, and transports it into this new realm. It allows you, your conscious mind, to access this new realm which is available to you upon death. And so a lot of the ancient cultures that did ayahuasca and mushrooms, they would talk about this realm as being like a well of souls, that you encounter disembodied life forms, disembodied spirits. It's been a staple of so many religions. There's so many religions that talk about the afterlife. I mean, I get that you would want to come up with something like that just because you wanted to have some sort of a reason to keep going with the rational mind when you're dealing with this existential angst of a temporary existence and one day you're just going to be worm food. What's the point of it all?
Well, yeah, that's what a lot of people will historically say about like either religions or just spiritual beliefs popping up. Like it makes dealing with death easier to believe that death isn't the end. I'm not saying that death is or is not the end, but it does logically make more sense to believe in that if you are trying to not be as sad and assuming that they're not.
Obviously, as Christians, we know that following death, we used to have other steps like being judged before the Father for all your sins, and then from there being cast into heaven or hell. I don't know if you automatically go to hell or if there's like a process. I'm still studying that in the Bible, but if there's like a process between waiting, but I'm pretty sure you just go straight to hell or heaven. So
Gone forever is easier than handling maybe the belief that they're entirely disappeared for existence.
On episode 1117, Joe Rogan is absolutely shocked by this crazy Hitler theory.
Everyone keeps asking me how I do my podcast alone. The answer, Riverside.
Bro, I already know what this theory. It's going to be the fucking theory that we watched with the Tyler Oliveira video. Hitler is dead, okay? Hitler is not still alive, all right? There may have been a chance that Hitler evaded Germany and moved to Argentina. Yeah, I think that's part of the theory. But the idea that Hitler is still alive, dude, he would be like 130 years old.
They found Hitler. He died.
Yeah, I mean,
Not really?
we don't know.
Right.
That's I mean, this isn't like Ancient Aliens. This is they declassified a bunch of documents. They both the Israelis, the British, and the Germans and Americans in the past 20 years have been consistently declassifying documents, and there were a bunch of specifically FBI documents that we were spending millions and millions of dollars actively searching for Hitler after the
we've
war.
had concentration camps.
Like millions of dollars.
We've had all types of
like
things.
Hoover was like, no, send more FBI agents to South America,
is the Holocaust.
to North Africa, go to the Canary Islands.
About the
I mean, that
Holocaust.
is
It's
weird,
just so
right?
interesting
That
to me. I
is
don't
weird,
know why.
right? That he could.
It always has been.
Why? The reason they say this, he might get into this like little clip, is apparently, you know how they always say Hitler shot himself, right? With, I think, Eva Braun, which was his wife. They say that Eva Braun was actually dead, and that's her body. But the body that was supposed to be Hitler was not actually Hitler. It was someone else, right? Because it was like burnt and it was just like bones. They couldn't actually identify who it was.
Go to Spain trying to find out where this guy went. The Russians got the body and they got his skull. And when they brought it back to Moscow, nobody has ever been able to independently verify who and what this body is. They let one genetic test occur, and the body with the bullet holes that they said was Hitler. And when they did the genetic testing, it's that of a 35-year-old woman. So they're like, oh, well, this isn't Hitler. So what you
35-year-old woman? Couldn't that be his wife?
You had Perón, who was part of the Nazi party starting all the way back into the mid-30s. He's the president of Argentina. So the Red Cross, there was about 3 different rat lines that guys were able to successfully get out of Europe into South America. And there's no question that we're talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of high-ranking Nazis made it there.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. And I'm not talking like little soldiers.
Why did they not just go to Argentina and like bust them? If you have tens of thousands of Nazi Germans move to Argentina, they're not going to be able to hide that many people. You're living. What is a Nazi? Dude, I hope you're not serious. Like, I hope for the strength of your historical knowledge that you actually are joking.
These are descendants of Nazis.
Powerful Nazis.
Holy shit. Are there any legitimate eyewitness accounts of Hitler in South America?
Yeah, absolutely, potentially.
Absolutely, potentially. Like, dude, there's people that say, I feel like I've seen this fucking podcast to him or some shit, or I've seen this man's show or something. But I remember hearing him talk about people that had eyewitness accounts of seeing Hitler. Like, anyone could make that up. Has anyone here ever seen Hitler? We're doing a documentary. Oh, I have. And then off the top of your head, make up a fucking story. Oh, yeah, I saw him come off the boat. Yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
And a nigga in the chat said absolutely potentially equals no. What type of statement is absolutely potentially?
I've seen Hitler. Yeah, you had the mustache. Yeah, mustache, the slick back hair. Yeah, I saw him. The weird flag thing. I've seen him. Like, what?
Yep, eyewitness accounts. I saw him get off a boat. I saw him meet here.
That's what I've seen this podcast then. I've seen this episode. I'm now remembering this.
And if it was just some person saying it.
Oh, so I saw him get off a boat? Smells like plastic. G Fuel Shaker Cup. Bottom left, tag below. Check it out.
He shares his theory about Adam and Eve and the magnetic poles.
Adam and Eve and magnetic poles. What theory is this going to be?
Adam and Eve story, the theory of that is that it happens in cycles of 6,500 years, and that it's a 90-degree flip, but 6 days later, or on the 7th day, it corrects itself.
The planet flips, not just
correct. It's a planet flip 90-degree, and that because of it, the Earth essentially does a standstill. The sun will basically stay in the same spot, causing heating like we've never experienced, and that the wind and the waters continue with their momentum, because essentially the wind travels at approximately 1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
Where are you getting this info from?
Yeah, that's
he's
bullshit.
saying there's a cycle of 6,500 years. It flips 90 degrees, flips back after 7 days. Where? Where are we getting this info? Where is the factual evidence of this? Please explain. This is going to be like a 30-second fucking segment.
So the theory is that when that event happens, it's going to be cataclysmic. And here's the wild thing is that in that document, it says
what document?
Continental-sized tsunami being 2 miles high. Well, I showed you the Emikusi volcano in Africa, in the Sahara, which is at 11,300 feet, that has salt as well as evidence of gastropods, sea life.
That's 2 miles high.
Yes. And I'm like, it would make a lot of sense. Like, if you look at the Bible and involving, like, Revelations, and it's saying, like,
6 days.
6 days on the 7th day, God rested. In that document, it says 6 days, things start simmering down a bit.
Yeah, but you could conversely say the reason there's fish really high up in the mountains far away from the ocean is because the tectonic plate shifts. When there's fish really high up in lakes, like very, very high up, thousands of feet up, you could say that, that used to be in the ocean, and over thousands and thousands of years, it got secluded, and then that became kind of a lake that slowly kind of moved its way up.
Beginning with Joe Rogan's MMA show.
Oh, God, the moon landing.
Yeah, that theory was bullshit. I ain't gonna lie.
Was faked. Okay, do y'all believe the moon landing was faked? Genuinely. Not that we haven't been there now, but originally, the United States faked the moon landing. I do not think
I don't think it was fake. I ain't gonna lie.
I understand the reasoning of like, we had to beat Russia, and so we staged it. But like, why the fuck wouldn't they just actually do it? If they had the technology to, they had the capability to, it made way more sense. All of the dumbass proofs that the moon landing was fake, like the flag not moving and all that other shit, or the flag moving and there's no air, or the flag would be standstill. Well, dude, they have rebuttals to that. Your fucking base evidence of like, there's weird footprints and how he's jumping the way the picture's taken, and the flag is kind of looks like it's like wavy, but in reality it would just be kind of fucking sitting there. Well, not if he moved it and shit. All right, let's watch this. Let's see what
somebody said. It's CGI.
Explains his conspiracy that the U.S. moon landing was fake.
The press conference from 1969 when they returned from the moon is one of the most cryptic, weird things you'll ever see. These guys look like they just stole something and they're being questioned. I've never seen a video where people look like they're more full of shit than that video of the press conference from 1969. It's weird, man. It's weird. They're like fidgety and looking nervous, like they're getting away with something.
So they didn't do it then?
They might have done it. They might have been forced to say some things that they didn't want to say, and that could be part of it.
Absolutely.
You know, they could have done it. But there's a lot of weirdness with the moon landing. Mm-hmm. It's if you wanted to have like a conspiracy to wrap your head around that's exciting, it's one of the best ones.
Really, but who benefits from it?
The United States government did, because it showed military superiority.
Is that the guy that lost to Jake Paul? Why the fuck is this jerk off on the Joe Rogan podcast?
The United States government did, because it showed military superiority over the Russians, and we were able to do that. Sure. It also, it was the Nixon administration. People were just flat out full of shit.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they were just lying
White
to people.
People got some of the funniest insults, bro.
But even more so.
People right and left back then, but like, yeah, NASA is funded by the government, but it's also just a different organization. Like, why? Like, NASA in itself would have no motivation.
I don't think they faked the moon landing, but I think when they start talking about landing on like Mars and things of that nature, I think that's
because it was unchecked. There was no media,
social media.
Yeah, there's nothing that would expose them for this. And this stuff, they would air it on TV once in 1969. You never see it again unless you watched it on film. There's no YouTube where you can go back and watch the astronauts on trampolines video.
The flat Earth thing is ridiculous.
Watch this, and their feet are hidden. Look at this. Watch these guys bounce up in the air. It's like they're on some sort of wire, like they're being yanked up into the air.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they doing? And they're playing, like falling down, and it's very weird.
I think you would do the same goddamn thing, Joe. If you were the first person ever to set foot on the moon, and you're jumping, and you jump fucking 5 feet in the air, would you or would you not just start fucking around? I'm gonna start running and shit. I'm gonna start seeing how high I can jump. Like, even if they're fucking genius scientists, everybody would have fun fucking around with that shit. You're not impaired by
Zero fucking gravity, you best believe.
Earth's gravity. The gravity is way different.
But it could have been that they were really on the moon and these guys were fucking cowboys and yahoos and they wanted to bounce around. But there's videos of the flag moving in a non-existent breeze, which is weird too. And they try to make some logical explanations for why the flag could be moving in a vacuum, and some of it makes sense, but some of it doesn't. Like the wires one is weird. If you watch them fall down, like go to that one right there, Jamie. It might not have been real footage. What they might have done is use some test footage, like right there, Jamie, right there. Let it go. Like homeboy falls down, and then it looks like he gets yanked back up. Look at this. Whoops.
Oh, he did not. That's not him standing up.
Yeah, what is this?
On episode number 1308.
Well, it looks like he gets yanked back up, but it's also easier to stand up when you're on the moon. Like, if you're less impaired by Earth's gravity and you just fucking push, you're probably going to kind of more levitate. What about 9/11?
Correct.
Oh, God.
Joe Rogan explains his conspiracy that 9/11 was
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. There had to be other charges on the fucking walls of the buildings.
inside job.
You want to hear another conspiracy theory that you probably don't?
Is that not common knowledge that 9/11 was an inside job? Is that not common knowledge? They have, like, not to speak on, you know, those culture of people, but they got people everywhere. They raise their kids up from birth to be able to be ready to give their life for the cause, to blow themselves up for the cause. So would it not make sense if they had people in America ready to give their life for the cause, ready to set things in place? I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's common knowledge. I think when you're going to war, your best friend is the element of surprise. It's ambush. And what better ambush than to have people on the inside working with you? I think this is a dumbass conspiracy theory.
No,
These are all made by Joe. I thought this was going to be conspiracy theories from other people on the show. These are all Joe Rogan's conspiracy theories from himself.
Blow your mind?
Let's do it.
The day before 9/11, the day before the attacks, Rumsfeld gave a press conference where he talked about trillions of dollars missing.
Okay.
The day.
Trillions.
Then a plane slams into the very part of the building where they were doing the accounting, blows up half the fucking building of the Pentagon,
Why did he
blows
start
up a
that?
wall. Donald Rumsfeld was on, where was it, the White House lawn?
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3.
Okay, now, again.
How do they mistrack that, though? Like, I'm not trying to believe in this conspiracy theory, but that is weird how they misplace trillions of dollars.
He said they couldn't track $2.3 trillion. No, that didn't happen. That did not happen, but it did happen.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so think about what Kennedy said. Think about what you saw when you saw that Vice movie where Dick Cheney, who was the CEO of Halliburton, becomes the vice president and gets billions of dollars in no-bid contracts. Now think about what we just saw with Donald Rumsfeld saying they couldn't find $2.3 trillion.
W enunciation of the word.
I don't know. Seems like we should have had it. So we'll keep looking. Oh no, the spot where we looked just blew up.
Oh my God.
But didn't they run into both buildings though? Like, didn't the plane crash into both buildings, or am I tripping? Let's fact check. During 9/11, were both the Twin Towers crashed into by airplanes?
Yes, on September 11th, 2001, both Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City were hit by hijacked airplanes.
What area of the Twin Towers were hit by the airplanes?
The airplanes hit the upper floors. American Airlines Flight 11 struck the North Tower between floors 93 and 99, while United Airlines Flight 175 hit the South Tower between floors 77 and 85.
What the
Find out
hell?
if that's true. If it was the accounting office, because this is what I love to say it because it sounds good. But let's make sure it's true that part blew up. But either way, that he did say that, and then they did get hit by a plane a couple of days later.
It's unbelievable.
It's so crazy, and no one talks about that $1 trillion.
I mean, I don't know. You would have to look more into the actual fucking evidence of that rather than just Joe Rogan saying, oh, the accountant building blew up where they were tracking that. Because that's really the only place they were trying to determine where the $2.3 trillion went.
Joe Rogan shares his infinite universe theory.
And then there's hundreds of billions of galaxies. So the idea that we're the only one. Not only that, Neil deGrasse Tyson explained this to me because this is a mind fuck and a half. That the universe is so big that not only is there another you out there that has done everything exactly as you've done to every pause, like that pause, every pause down to the second.
Yeah,
an infinite number of times.
Yeah. You're talking. What is it called? The infinite in an infinite universes. There's this exact conversation happening.
Well, in infinite universes, there's not only an exact copy of you, but it would also be, the way that works is like every decision you would have ever made would have also been made in a separate universe. So like, I always use the example of like, if you're taking a multiple choice test. Like if you're taking a multiple choice test, and say there's 10 questions and each question has 4 answers. There's a universe where you answered every exact combination of answers that you could have possibly answered in that test and just every other thing that you've ever done in your life. There's always another you that has done the opposite thing that you have not done.
And people look exactly like that because infinity implies that there can be a million.
Infinite variations. There's one where you get up right now and you have to take a piss. And you run out of the room.
Or Charlemagne's there, you're here, I'm there.
There's one where you get up and you're mad that we don't believe you.
The coolest thing, I mean, like, that's like a cool theory. And that, like, these are actually like, this isn't just some conspiracy theory, right? I don't know why this is under conspiracy because this is actually like a theory that some scientists try to like delve into. I think he just included this because it's entertaining. Like, this isn't a conspiracy. This is actually like something that people try to prove. Another thing is like a dimensional theory, like kind of like multiple dimensions, in the sense of like, if you were we're 3-dimensional, right? We can look front, back, left, right, up, down. If you were a 1-dimensional figure, say you were a line, what directions could you look? You are a line with eyes. You can only look front and back. You can't look up and down. You can't look left and right. If you're a square, say you're a flat square, you exist on a 2D plane. You're no longer existing on a 1D plane on a line where you can look front and back. You exist on a 2D plane, right, where you can look front, back, left, and right. And you can't look up and down because you're flat, you're 2D. If you were a 2D figure and you can look front, back, left, right, and I were above you as a 3D creature, you would not be able to see me, but I can see you. Every dimension above other dimensions can see the dimensions below them, but they can't see dimensions above them unless they enter their dimension in some sort of way. The same thing would apply with us. Theoretically, there could be other dimensional creatures in higher dimensions than our own that can see us, but we can't see them.
The idea that...
Hence, spirits, other dimensions or realms. Or realms. He didn't say realms. But this is where that comes in, where when people are getting like, oh, I don't want to get into that. Just because it's a little creepy, but the spiritual realm, things of that nature, how spirits can see you, but you can't see them. But if you do happen to see a spirit, they can acknowledge it. They acknowledge real quickly, like, okay, so I see that you see me. You know what I mean? Because usually you're not supposed to be able to see them. So when you do happen to see them, now it's...
When you think of infinity,
right?
We think about it as being
They keep saying infinite universes. Let's just call it a multiverse. There are other universes out there. There's no way God created one universe, one Milky Way galaxy. Trust me, he didn't.
Really big. It's not. It's impossible to put in your head.
Yeah.
The size of the universe, 14 billion light years apart, infinite numbers of those. Not only that, they think that inside
This is basically Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is very loosely based on science. I love Rick and Morty as a show, but people that watch Rick and Morty and try to say that it's like high IQ, it's not. Like to understand Rick and Morty, you don't need to be a fucking genius. Okay.
Let's do something. Let's do something. What is the difference between a dimension and a realm? A dimension is
a measurable direction, like height or width, while a realm is a self-contained domain with its own rules. Dimensions define how space is structured, whereas realms define what happens within it, such as in fantasy, where realms are distinct worlds with specific cultures.
So like you said, dimension, 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, realms is like the physical essence of another world. You know what I mean? Like this is our earthly realm, heavenly realm, spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying?
galaxy is a supermassive black hole, and inside that black hole may be another universe with hundreds of billions of galaxies.
So if you're seeing spirits, if you're somebody that can see spirits, not just like evil spirits, but just people who pass away, you can see them. You're seeing into the spiritual realm.
Hundreds of billions of black holes. Inside each one of those, hundreds of billions of galaxies, hundreds of billions of black holes, that it's fractal and that it's impossible for you to even conceive.
Guest Sam Tripoli shares his theory that Ben Franklin...
We love Benjamin Franklin. We love Big Ben.
...was doing experiments on human bodies.
Dude, you ever heard about what? Ben Franklin? The U.S. guy on the fucking $100 bill? The man that helped with the fucking Constitution, Ben Franklin?
Yes. Let's get to it.
You're one sentence away from launching your website with Base 44. Since the beginning of the internet, there's never been such a fun, fast, and intelligent way.
Conspiracy theories are for people who have an open mind. If you have one of them closed minds where you just, everything has to be what you can see, you only believe what you can see to the extent of what your eyes have seen, conspiracy theories are not for you. Conspiracy theories are for those who have open minds to believe things beyond existence, beyond what they have visibly seen. That's why, you know, I love my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I've never physically seen Jesus Christ or my Father in heaven, but I believe in them. My mind is open enough to understand that I have to follow a doctrine and a law that has been placed millions and millions and millions and millions of years in advance of my living. And that there are omnipotent beings in which I must obey. So if your mind is not open, you are not gonna, conspiracy theories just aren't for you. A lot of people don't believe in aliens because they've never seen aliens. So they believe extraterrestrial creatures can never be real, but they're only extraterrestrial because they're unfamiliar to us. To them, we're extraterrestrial creatures. We're aliens. Think about it. Because to them, they've never seen us, or they're not accustomed to Homo sapiens.
Ben Franklin was okay. That's a different story. But
what did he do?
You never heard that, like, what he was found in it? They found in his house?
No.
Like,
oh, I think I've heard of this. Oh, I think I've actually heard of this. Oh, wait.
Tons of
no, this might be fucking actually weird. Oh, and this is a longer one.
Bodies, bro.
What?
Ben Franklin, they found tons of bodies in his...
Ben Franklin was a serial killer?
No, he was like doing some weird shit, dude.
Is this real?
Everything I say.
Was Ben Franklin's basement filled with skeletons? Repairs on Franklin's old London house turned up 1,200 pieces of bone from at least 15 people.
Do you think he was experimenting on already dead bodies? Or like, dude, I don't know. That is weird. Like 1,200 bones in your house? How many people could that even be? Just 15 different people? Could have been animal bones too.
Holy shit. For nearly
They're
2
probably already dead, just like cadavers.
decades. By the way, this is from the Smithsonian. This is not some wacky conspiracy thought.
This ain't SamTripoli.com.
Yeah. For nearly 2 decades leading up to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Franklin lived in London in a house on 36 Craven Street. In 1776, Franklin left his English home to come back to America. More than 200 years later, 15 bodies were found in the basement, buried in a secret windowless room beneath the garden. In 1998, conservationists were doing repairs on 36
Dude,
Craven
like he was hiding it though. See, now that's weird. Like he was hiding it.
looking to turn Franklin's old haunt into a museum. From a 1 meter wide, 1 meter deep pit, over 1,200 pieces of bone were retrieved. Remnants of more than a dozen bodies, said Benjamin Franklin's house. 6 were children.
Wow.
Forensic investigations showed that the bones dated to Franklin's day. Holy shit. The most plausible explanation is not mass murder, but an anatomy school run
I
by...
don't think he killed people. I don't think Ben Franklin would kill people. I think he probably took dead bodies and just started running experiments on
Most
shit.
likely,
Benjamin's young friend and protege, William Hewson. Oh, just an anatomy school.
Yeah, and we're just gonna bury them downstairs.
Note to add in another article about this.
Oh,
That is
boy.
weird, though. PBS says remains of 28 bodies were unearthed on his elegant townhouse. Why? I don't know. Dude, we can't ask him. He's fucking dead.
Joe Rogan's theory on time travel.
Y'all believe in time travel? Time travel is 100% real. Since a little boy, I've known time travel is real, bro. You're telling me back in the day when they had no tools for anything, that they created airplanes, they created all these different things. Like, why would you even take the risk of creating an airplane and actually flying it? Like back in the day, back then, not now, back then, when they had nothing, like niggas created time travel, shorty. Let's get to it.
I feel like Joe's theories are just not like foundationally based in any way. Like, bro, I'll agree with some of like the trippy theories that he'll say, but I think he just takes, because Joe Rogan does a lot of hallucinogenics, and so like I'm getting what he's saying, like when he does this, but I feel like he just kind of like takes CMT and then just starts spewing shit.
And that when they invent a time machine, all time ceases to become linear. So you think if you have a time machine, well, I'll just go back to the time where they were making the pyramids and I'll watch them do it. That's not what it works like. What he was saying, you can't travel where there are no roads. So once a road gets built, then you can travel. So once a time machine gets invented, then
you could travel back to that time. Yes. Because how would you be able to get to, you would have to be able to time travel to other time machines, maybe?
Anyone from the invention of the time machine forward to forever.
Well, what is weird is the second a time machine was made, people would start coming out of the time machine. Because if you were the first guy to make a time machine, the second you made a time machine, people would start popping out of the time machine from hundreds of years in the future. Because they would be like, oh, it worked. Yeah, I'm here, right? But another issue with time travel is like the way time travel is kind of hard to like be able to even factually say is possible, because not only would you have to disassemble and reassemble your body somewhere else in the future or past, you would also have to put your body in the right place within the universe.
Yeah.
Like if I time traveled back 100 years, I would just pop up in a void in the universe, right? Because the Earth moves, the universe moves, our fucking solar system moves, right? Like, we're not just standstill. Like, everything is moving towards each other, away from each other. So if you were just to time travel back, you would just pop into a fucking void and die.
Come back to that moment and can go to any point in time from that moment to the end of time. So
yeah, from that moment, from the second it's made.
So all time ceases to be linear. So there's no like tomorrow will be Wednesday and the next day will be Thursday. No. It's everything happens everywhere all at once. So
That's a movie! That's a movie! That's a movie!
People can travel back and forth through time. You can never own anything because someone could just travel through time and take it away from you when you weren't looking. Like as time travel gets more and more sophisticated, you can go back and forth in time while you're talking to people. You know, if you don't like what you said, you could rewind and start all over again. If you're in an argument with your wife, you can go to the library and get information and come back and go, actually, you know, Herodotus once said, and then bam, your wife thinks you're the smartest guy in the world. Like,
yeah, but they could conversely do the same thing to you, and that it just opens up like a different universe issue. Quick pause the video to shout out my gaming channel, Joe Mark Games. Do you like watching my react content / Just Chatting content / rant content? Back to the video.
On Joe Rogan Experience number 1339, Joe Rogan and Everlast go deep into parallel universe theories.
what about this? What if every time you went to sleep and you woke up, you passed into a nearby and very similar universe, but not quite the same? And depending upon your choices and how you live your life, it's how you wake up and what new one you pop into on the other side. And everyone's just a little bit different. The whole world changes just a little bit each time you make a decision.
Yeah, Joe Rogan trying to make motherfuckers insane. I mean, yeah, there's no way of definitively showing, like, say, yeah, you fall asleep, you wake up. You could be in a different universe where everything is almost the same. You ever have a conversation with somebody, not even like the Mandela effect. I'm saying, like, you ever had a conversation with someone, you bring up something that you thought was right about them or they thought about you, and you have this weird, like, confusion where you're both definitively in your own mind saying something that's correct, but only one of you can be right. But maybe that's just a different universe you having that belief that you told them that was somewhat different from your own, and then when you actually have that new...
The Mandela effect describes shared false memories, like the belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Psychologists say this happens because our memories aren't perfect. Examples include the incorrect spelling of Berenstain Bears, or Darth Vader's quote, which was, "No, I am your father," not "Luke, I am your father."
Shazam!
Conversation with the parallel universe you, now that's being shown to be different. But then you usually just wipe it off as it not being a big deal.
Wake up. You think the world is static because it is when you're awake. You have no fucking idea what's happening while you're asleep. And when you wake up again, you have this foggy recollection of the past. And that's what you're going by. You're going by every morning.
Also with the realms, some of y'all, there's a dream realm. So there's a spiritual realm. There's an earthly realm, this realm we live in now, heavenly realm. And then there's a dream realm.
Waking up with a foggy recollection of the past. That's what you're doing. And you're assuming that nothing.
It's weird that, like, dude, I just even looking at memory. Memory is everything that makes you alive, right? I know living is like, okay.
You ever like went to sleep and you could feel yourself waking up, or you could hear the people awake around you, but you couldn't physically get up? It's like, that's like your spirit waking up before your body, you know? Like, it's that type of weird stuff that happens that we don't really explain. We just kind of ignore. Like, why can I hear what's going on around me, but my body is refusing to wake up and get up? You know what I mean? That's how people astral project. Their spirit is moving around while their physical body is still resting. This shit gets spooky, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Open up your mind.
You're a breathing, functioning, moving animal that has like life-sustaining properties. But in reality, the idea of life as we understand it is being able to have a personality attached to what your memories are. The second you get rid of memories and you're only living in the present, you're not really you. What makes you is what you remember. The second you lose everything that you remember, you're no longer you. You can see it with people that have dementia or Alzheimer's and they're in really deep stages. They're not even them anymore. They've lost all of their personality traits because they're no longer them, because they don't remember anything that they used to do. They don't remember how they used to be. But like, that's weird. In my mind, if you had no memory, you're not you.
While you were asleep for 8 hours, nothing weird happened. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea. You're dreaming. You're having crazy fantasies and shit. Weird stuff is happening. You're fucking mermaids. You're flying through the air on a helicopter. You know, weird things happen when you're dreaming. What is all that about? Yeah. We don't even know. We have no idea what that is. That soup of possibilities that's fucking swirling around in between your ears while you're snoring up a storm. And then, boom, you wake up. Are you sure those memories are real? Are you sure that this isn't a whole completely new universe you're living in today?
Or assimilation.
Or simulation.
Oh my God, I need to listen to that again.
Are you sure that this isn't a whole completely new universe you're living in today?
Or assimilation.
Or simulation.
I mean, it's just like when I don't think that proves that you're in a simulation. I don't think that proves you having a dream. I think that.
Do y'all believe the world is a simulation? Like it's set and it has like we're kind of moving on a set system and schedule, and then that's why when certain people break out of that system, they're perceived as crazy, like Cat Williams, like Kanye West. Once you see beyond that, people perceive you as crazy because you've broken out of the norm of the system of the simulation that the world has tried to contain you in. Do y'all believe that? Because I believe that. I think the world is somewhat of a simulation. Yeah.
Could
To
be
an extent.
scientifically proven, right? I understand what he's trying to say, and I will say, yeah, like you could be right. There's no disproving it, but just because it's not disprovable doesn't mean it's right.
On a Joe Rogan podcast from February 17th, 2019, Eddie Bravo shares his crazy conspiracy about space and one world government.
The only way to make a one world government work is to have the people embrace it. They have to want it because nobody wants it. So the trick is to make people want it, to embrace it. There's only one way. The only way. And they've known this forever. The Vatican knew this. The Vatican, the Pope wanted to rule the world. They all knew it, but they couldn't do it. They all knew it, but they knew one way, but there's no way how they're going to pull it off. The only way is if there was some extraterrestrial threat.
No, not even a threat. Not even a threat. Even if they weren't a threat, the one world government, everyone being together would make more sense if there was other intelligent life forms. If you had aliens that came down to Earth, humans are going to be much more motivated to all be together so they can advance as a species alongside or against in competition them. Instead of competing with one another, we would compete against a different species. And you could say, yeah, threat would also bring other people together outside of us, because if we don't have an outside threat, our threat is each other.
From up above us, that would be the only way to have everyone embrace the one world government. They all knew that for years.
But it didn't work
That's
so
the
far.
plan. They could never make it work.
Shitty plan,
They didn't have the technology 500 years ago. The Vatican knew about it. They wanted it. And you go to the Vatican, you see paintings of like
Have you been there?
UFOs with aliens in them. And back when I used to believe in UFOs, but before I figured out that UFOs they want us to believe in UFOs. They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace.
All right, I don't know about the Vatican preparing us for a fake alien invasion. All right, he had me and then he lost me.
And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times at the UN.
It doesn't have to be an attack though. So think about this. In the book of Revelations, if you're Christian and you believe in God, it says that once Jesus comes back to collect his people who believe in him, that an antichrist will rise up. That antichrist will be viewed as a god because he will be delivering miracles. If you say, I need $500,000, he'll make $500,000 appear. If you say, I need a fridge full of food, he'll make a fridge full of food appear. He'll be doing godlike wonders. So naturally, the natural human tendency is to worship and to bow down to a higher essence being, right? So that's why once Jesus died and then resurrected, a lot of people turned their souls to him. It took him to die and then resurrect to show, okay, that's not nothing regular humans can do. This is a God. So now even though you've been telling us who you are, now that we visibly see it, now we bow before you. So it's the same way in the end times, when the Antichrist rises up, because everybody understands, those who who knew Jesus, we won't take the beast because we understand what it is. But to those who never got to experience Jesus, to them, this is their godlike being that they will bow before, because he'll be showing all these different forms of power that us humans do not have, that we do not possess. It's just the natural way of the human brain to fall into, to kind of worship a higher power being once we see the higher power. But if we do not see the higher power, it's kind of hard to fall into that reverence for it, which is why a lot of us don't have a deep respect for Jesus Christ, because we love him and we know he's real, we believe in him, but it's hard to have that reverence and that deep respect and fear for him because we didn't see him turn water to wine. We didn't see him walk on water. You feel me? We didn't see him turn one bread and one fish and feed thousands and thousands of people. We didn't see that. So it's hard to gain a deep reverence. That's why you just have to ask. You gotta ask him to give you that deep reverence for him.
CFR, he talked about it because wouldn't it make, he looked at all the leaders of the nation, of the world, and said, wouldn't it make our lives easier if we just had some kind of extraterrestrial threat?
Y'all see what I mean though? That's just the natural way of human thinking. Like, yeah. And then the Antichrist is going to switch up and he's going to show y'all, no, I'm really here for your soul. And then it's going to be too late because you didn't already been asking him to bless you and to give you all these things. You've already taken from him. It's tough.
I think that's also disprovable in the sense that the government doesn't release.
All right, y'all, we're going to stop it there anyway. Comment down below what's your favorite conspiracy theory, the one that you believe in most. Mine, like I said, is that asteroids did not crash on the planet and destroy the dinosaurs.
It was classified like UFO.
It was the fallen angels when Lucifer convinced a third of heaven to turn against God and follow him, and God kicked Lucifer and a third of heaven out of heaven. And they landed on earth. These are fallen angels, spiritual deities. They hit the earth, and that is what caused a worldwide cataclysmic event. Because asteroids come at Earth all the time, and our atmosphere usually handles them. That's what's not talked about. We always have asteroids heading towards Earth, and our atmosphere usually handles it, burns them up. And we've had some hit Earth before, but it's never been on a worldwide level to where it's taken out everything on the planet. No, that's more than that. That's them fallen angels, y'all. Think about that. A third of heaven, if there were 100 angels, that's 33 angels plus Lucifer. So now think on a millions, trillion, however many angels are up there. Think on that scale, a third of them hitting the earth. And why do you think the earth is such a pain-stricken world? When we get to heaven, we don't experience pain. We don't experience lust. We don't experience fear. We don't experience crying and sorrow. We experience that here. We don't experience that up there. Why do you think that is? Because these fallen angels became those entities that we feel. Fallen angels fell to earth and they became sorrow. They became hatred. They became thieving. They became resentment. They became unforgiveness. They became these things, these feelings that we carry. That's why the album Down by Kendrick Lamar is so hard, because he says we can't take these feelings to earth. We can't. They must remain here. You got to think of earth as like a jail, like kind of like a jail, like in a sense where free will is like, yeah, it's free will and it's good to have free will, but free will is low-key going against following the laws and doctrines of the Lord. Too much free will will bound your soul to hell. Too much free will is pride. That's why a lot of, and this is not against the homosexual community, because I love y'all. I love y'all community. I love the confidence it takes to always know that you're being perceived by outsiders and to still have that confidence and hold your head up high. But there's a reason y'all month is called Pride Month. Pride is the devil. Pride is the root of all evil. They say money is, but it's pride. Your month is literally called Pride Month because you're taking too much pride in being who you want to be. I'm who I am, and I don't care what nobody says, but that's pride. Y'all are over here promoting and celebrating Pride Month, and that's of the devil. Because the natural way of a man is to be masculine, and the natural way of a woman is to be feminine. When you have women walking around being masculine, or you have women walking around talking about, I'm in my soft girl era, I'm in my feminine era, they're prideful. You're supposed to always be in your feminine era. No matter if you don't have a man, it don't matter if you work in your own job, paying your own bills, if you got to change your own tire, it don't matter if you're a woman in a male-dominated field, you're always supposed to walk in your femininity because that's your natural state. As a man, it don't matter if you're working with primarily women, it doesn't matter if you ain't got no home-cooked meals, it don't matter if you ain't got no woman rubbing your head, putting that cooch on you, you always supposed to walk in your masculinity because that is what God has ordained you to be. So when you got homosexuals celebrating Pride Month, that's the devil. He gave them a whole month to celebrate. I take pride in who I am. I take pride in being who I am and not who God has made me to be. And the reason a lot of them don't understand is because they're blind to the ways of God. Preachers are not preaching on homosexuality because they're battling their own homosexuality, or they're what's the word when you hate gay people? They're y'all know the word. They're battling their own sexuality, or they hate gay people. So they can't preach the ways. But I'm telling y'all this as somebody who, I love every walk of life. I don't care if you're Indian. I don't care if you're orange, green, blue, gay, straight, up, down. I don't care what you are, because I know what I am. You feel what I'm saying? The truth is, y'all are blind. The veil has not been lifted off of your eyes. So y'all may get mad at me for speaking the truth, but when you die and you go to hell for your homosexuality, you're gonna be mad at all the people that could have preached the truth to you, all the people that were telling you it's okay to be in the church and be gay, it's okay to be in the church and be bisexual. When you're down in hell burning, you're gonna appreciate somebody like me. Turn your ways to God. If you are a gay male, I understand it roots a lot of times from the way you grew up. If you grew up in being raised by women, being raised by men, not having a father, only being for a lot of women, they turned out gay because they never had boys that were attracted to them. Only girls were attracted to them, or they were brought up feeling like they were ugly and insecure, so they turned to women. Or that's the only place that they got validation from, was from women. And for men, a lot of them are gay because they didn't have their father figure in their life. They were raised by women and certain things like that. But you got to understand, you have to be who you are, y'all. And this is coming from love, y'all. You have to be who you are, who God has ordained you to be. Taking pride in, that's literally, I'm taking pride in who I want to be. It doesn't matter who you want to be. It matters what God has put you here to be. He put man here to be man. He put man here to have dominion over the earth. He took rib from man and created woman. Women need to stop trying to be men. You women walking around talking about, I got hoes. You're trying to be a man. You have no hoes. The only time you have hoes is when you have a nigga crying over you. Like, how could you cheat on me? How could you do this to me? Yes, that is your hoe. But if you're just having sex with a bunch of men and you got a bunch of niggas in your phone, and to you, that's, I got hoes. No, shorty. If them niggas do not care about you, you are their hoe. You stop trying to be a woman in a male-dominated field. That's the issue with y'all. That's the issue. You have to be a woman. Y'all are held to a higher standard. There's things that we do that y'all cannot do and that y'all should not do, because it'll not get off your record. A man can go around and sleep, because there's a difference. Women love competition. Women usually want a man that other women are attracted to, that they know is attractive to multiple women. because they like having the feeling of I have something that everybody wants but can't have. They love the competition. So as a man, you want to have a good amount of women looking at you. You want to have multiple beautiful women at your disposal, because the woman that wants you, she wants that as well. She wants to know that her man is wanted. But as men, we want a woman that nobody else wants, or that nobody else not wants, but nobody else has access to. We want somebody who's secluded into themselves, that's ours and ours alone. Because as men, as confident men, we're not competing, but women are competitive. Peep, y'all. I'm telling y'all, that's the game. That's the game. And if you find a good woman, then she won't do that to you. You'll be able to just be yourself and she'll love you for you. But I'm talking about majority of these women are competitive. They want a man that they know other women want because they want to have him. They like seeing other women look at their man and knowing, yeah, I'm with him. But as men, we don't want to walk in with our woman and see a bunch of men looking at her. Yeah, we know she's beautiful. It's all right if you get a few looks. I know you that. But when it start getting out of hand, it's like, oh, okay, nigga, like, relax. This is my lady. We get possessive. You feel me? So enough of that. I just have to preach some of the truth because the truth is not being preached out here, y'all. People need to preach on homosexuality. They need to preach on Jezebelic spirits. They need to preach on that. They need to preach on witches and warlocks. They need to preach on that. It's not being preached. And a lot of you will fall victim and your soul will be bound to hell because you're not hearing the truth, because the veil will never be lifted off of your eyes. People that are homosexual, they're simply blind to the ways of Jesus. We don't have to hate them for it. We just have to lift the veil off of their eyes so that they can see you can be delivered from homosexuality. A lot of you do stuff that you feel is irreversible. You have sex with another man, you have sex with another woman, and you just give in and say, okay, I'm done fighting. This is who I am. I'm bisexual. I'm gay. You can come back from that. God can deliver you from anything. The only sin that is unforgivable is blaspheming God's name. That's the only sin that's unforgivable. He did not say homosexuality was unforgivable or undeliverable. You can be delivered. Y'all seen that one video? I'm not gay no more. I've been delivered. Y'all seen that video? You can be delivered from homosexuality, y'all. You just have to lift the veil off. We have to work as Christians to lift the veil off their eyes. We're not preaching the right gospel, and we're not preaching to the right crowds. You feel me? We're preaching for oohs and ahs and for validation. Fuck validation if it's not from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He's the only form of validation I need. I don't need validation from the world because the world has given me nothing but pain and sorrow. But love and joy and peace has my Father given me. So that's who I seek validation from. Turn your hearts back to Jesus. Stop celebrating Pride Month. That is pride. It's of the devil. That's the devil's month, y'all. Stop that. I'm telling you, stop it. In Jesus' name, I rebuke pride. I rebuke homosexuality in the name of Jesus. But I love y'all. I love you. Okay? But all right, that's enough for this video. We love conspiracy theories. It wasn't supposed to go on this long. A lot of them are BS, but a lot of them are true. You just got to open up your mind. Yeah, comment down your favorite conspiracy theory, y'all, and we out.